confirmation class? Is that why we have all this?
No, because
This all this?
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Wow.
Rachel, Shabbat Shalom is Hebrew for please sit down.
Find your seats.
It is so much fun to see kind of a mini camp reunion going on tonight, as well as a family reunion as we gather tonight to celebrate Shabbat and to celebrate Jillian taking her place this weekend as a bat mitzvah, as an adult in our congregation. There's so much to celebrate, even the fact that it's not 100 degrees outside on this Shabbat. Truly, truly something to give thanks for. So we begin this morning. We begin this evening on page 128 with Yedid Nefesh. Please join us.
We'll bring in the Sabbath bride in a minute, and you'll realize it's evening. Yedid Nefesh Rakaman, Yedid Nefesh Rakaman, Meshochav Decha, Eretz Zonecha, Meshochav Decha, la 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 la, Eretz Zonecha, Yarutz Avdecha,
Before we welcome the Sabbath Queen into our midst, let's take a little time to introduce ourselves to each other, to wish each other a Shabbat Shalom, and to actually get up and say hello to at least two people you didn't know when you walked in tonight. Cantor Steinberg. Cantor Steinberg. The Sabbath bride has texted that she has buzzed the door. The Sabbath bride has buzzed the alarm and is waiting impatiently to come in. God help you.
Finally.
God help you if hearing my voice makes you think of God.
My prayers have been answered.
That my voice would be the voice
I
of
don't
God.
know. I thought it was God, but
That's really sad.
Strangest things have happened.
We prepare to
Yes.
greet the Sabbath Queen with Lecha Dodi on page 138, and we'll be singing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9, page 138.
la 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 Chantali. La 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 Likrat Kala. La 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 Penei Shabbat. Penei Shabbat Nikabela. Shamor v'zachor B'dibur echad. Nishmi'anu el hamiuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad. L'shemo tiferet v'litfilah. Yai lai lai, la 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 lecha dodi. La 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 likrat kala. La 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 penei Shabbat. Penei Shabbat nikabela. Likrat Shabbat. Lechu b'melecha. La 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 likrat kala. La 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 penei Shabbat. Penei Shabbat nikabela. Hitorri. Hitorri. Ki ba'orech kumi ori. Uri, Uri, Shir Daberim, Kevod Adonai, Alaich Miglan. La la la, la 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 lecha dodi. La 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 likrat kala. La 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 penei Shabbat. Penei Shabbat nikabela.
Boi v'shalom, Ateret malam, Gam b'simcha, U'tzeholam, Toch emunei, Am segula, Boi chala, Boi chala.
La la la, la 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 lecha dodi. La 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 likrat kala. La 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 penei Shabbat. Penei Shabbat nikabela.
It is my pleasure to invite up Jillian and her parents, Melanie and Dave, and our sister Aaliyah, to light the Shabbat candles in honor of her becoming a bat mitzvah. We continue with Shalom Aleichem on page 142, but you'll be able to find the candle blessing on page 120.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bokem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu b'hadlik ner shel Shabbat. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of all generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Barchuni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seichem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Please rise and join us for the Baruch Hu on page 146.
Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Please be seated.
Well done.
Please join us on the top of page 149. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars, creator of the tide of time and light. You guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. We continue on page 150.
Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael Amcha ahavta Torah u'mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadeta Al kein Adonai Eloheinu B'shofreinu u'b'kumeinu Natziach b'chukecha V'nitzmach b'divrei Toratecha U'b'mitzvotecha Ve'olam Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed.
Please join us for the Ve'ahavta on page 154.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol lavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu ha'devarim ha'elech asher Anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibartam bam v'shivtecha v'techa u'leftecha v'derech u'shachbecha u'vkumecha u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu l'totovot bein einecha u'chtabtam al mezuzot beitecha u'v'yisharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim lechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem emes.
Please join us on the top of page 157. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot otzei feleh. Nora tehilot otzei feleh.
These songs of freedom, they're all I ever had.
Redemption song. Malechutecha, ro'u banecha, bokeh hayam lifnei
Moshe u'Miriam,
le'olam va'ed. Won't you help me sing
these songs
of freedom? They're all I ever had. Redemption song. Redemption song. Redemption song. Kifada Adonai et Yaakov, Ugerlo miad chazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael.
Erev Shabbat, Friday night, is a special time at Camp Newman. It's a time where we come together in joy and happiness. It's one of the few times you see the children remotely clean the entire time they're at camp. I didn't say clean, remotely clean. And one of the prayers that we love to sing together is the Hashkivenu. No, don't get comfortable. You're coming up. I want to invite up anybody who goes to camp to come and join us and help us lead us in the prayer on page 160.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom. Ve'ha'amidenu malkeinu l'chayim. Ufros aleinu sukkah shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukkah shlomecha. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us daily wrong from right. Amen. 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 Amen.
Those of you who are B'nai Mitzvah students, stay up. Oh, so if you have a prayer book, that's awesome, because you may want one. You have them at your seats. Just run, get a couple. We continue with Vishamru on page 162.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם בריא עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם בריא עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם בריא עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם בריא עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Please rise for the tefillah on page 164.
Well done.
Adonai sefatai tiftachu fi agidei latecha. Adonai, open my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarai, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezocher Chatzei Avot v'Imahot, Umevi Geula Lifnei B'neihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Hozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Abraham Bezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mekayeh Hakol, Atah Rav Le'Oshia, Morid Atah, Mekakel Chayim Bechesed, Mekayeh Hakol Berachamim Rabim, Somek Noflim Verofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato Lishanei Afar, Nichamocha Ba'gevorot, Umido Melech, Melech Meit Umekayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah lechayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'kol yom yehalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
We continue praying privately from page 172 through 180, either standing or sitting, as is your custom.
והגיון ליבי יהיו לרצון אמרי פי והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי אדוני צורי וגואלי אדוני צורי אדוני צורי וגואלי go inside your heart just be go inside your heart and see what it wants, what it needs, what it yearns when you breathe. Go inside your heart and see. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be kind, be true. May they be acceptable to you, oh my rock and my redeemer. Razón imrefi vegion libi razón imrefi vegion libi lefanecha.
Our thoughts and our prayers now turn to those in our life, or even perhaps to ourselves as well, to all who are in need of healing of body or healing of spirit. We continue on page 371.
Mishaberach Avotenu Avraham, Yitzchak v'Yaakov Mishaberach Imotenu Sarah, Rivka, Leah, v'Rachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer. 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 And bless us as well. Bless us with the power of your healing. Bless us with the power of your hope. May our hearts be filled with understanding and strengthened by the power of your love. Bless us with a vision for tomorrow. Help us to reach out to those in pain. May the warmth of friendship ease our sorrow. Give us courage, give us faith, show us the way. Mishaberach Avotenu, Mishaberach Imotenu. Hear our prayer. 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 And bless us as well.
Shabbat Shalom. How many of you had a kid go back to school this month? How many of you had a kid go back to school and the school is not within driving distance in your house and they had to get on a plane or drive a really long way to get there? Josh, is it just you and me? Oh, there's like 3 of us. How easy was it to send your kid away to school? A snap. Yeah, but you get to see yours at night when they come home. But raise your hand if you've ever sent your kid off to college. What was it like that first time you sent them away? Am I the only one who was sad? You seem awfully quiet, like you don't want to admit that maybe you weren't that sad. For most of us, it's a really hard thing to do. You spend this child's entire life guiding them all the time, asking them every single day, did you remember to do this? Did you put that in your backpack? Did you remember that? Did you do that? Why are you wearing a sweater when it's 100 degrees outside? Every day, trying to do whatever you can that's best for them. And suddenly, you have to let them go, and you have to have the faith that they'll be able to take care of themselves. Now imagine you have 1 million children, and you know that when they leave, it's for good. That's what Moses' situation is in the book of Deuteronomy. All of the people that he has shepherded for 40 years are going to go off to a new land, to a new place, and he won't be there anymore to tell them what to do, to keep them safe. And so the entire book of Deuteronomy is him basically giving those last words of advice so that they'll be able to take care of themselves. And as I was reading over this passage, it reminded me what I heard recently, that I guess some of the advice that was given to our confirmation students who went to Israel. I was told basically that whoever was in charge of the program over there basically told you guys, follow the rules, that if anybody, say, drinks or does something that they're not supposed to do, there will be consequences. Did you hear any talks like that? Something like, we'll call your rabbi. Well, you guys are in one of the few classes that have not gotten my talk, that if I get the call, because I actually trusted all of you, and I did not get a call over the summer, so I was very happy, but previous classes have gotten the talk right beforehand where they're told, if I have to get a call, because I've gotten that call before, you will have to clean all of the glass doors and windows all over the temple, and there's a lot. So I'm going to have one of you guys read this passage from Deuteronomy, because it kind of reminded me of that. So this first paragraph.
Okay, I'm gonna...
You can do it in English.
Okay.
Do I have to? Behold, I set before you this day a blessing and a curse. A blessing if you obey the commandments of the eternal your God, which I command you this day. And a curse if you will not obey the commandments of the eternal your God, but turn aside from the way which I command you this day.
That was the part about, I'll call your rabbi.
To go after our other gods which you have not known. And it shall come to pass when the eternal your God has brought you in the land which you are entering to possess, that you shall put the blessing upon Mount Gerizim, and the curse upon Mount Ebal. Are they not on the other side of the Jordan, by the way where the sun goes down, in the land of the Canaanites, who live in the Arba, opposite Gilgal, besides the terebinths of Moreh? For you shall pass over the Jordan to go in to possess the land which your eternal your God gives you, and you shall possess it and dwell in it.
So you were actually in some of those places this summer, just so you know. We don't call them all the same things anymore. So here Moses is saying, look, in a little bit, you guys are going to cross over the Jordan. You are going into your new home. And I want you to set a marker up on either side to where you could see it. On one side is the mountain for the blessing, and one side is the mountain for the curse. In Judaism, we like visual reminders. Think of the mezuzot on the doorposts or the tzitzit that we wear on our talis. We like visible reminders of how to do right, bless you, and how to avoid wrong. And so Moses is telling them, you won't have me, but you'll have those visual markers. So why do you think Moses is saying this to the Israelites? Why is this part of his to a new place? No one? Wait, let me give you the mic.
Moses was prevented from entering Israel because he smashed the tablets on Mount Sinai.
No, he does get in trouble for that, but he's not allowed in because he smashes the rock instead of talking to it, and then he takes credit for God's work bringing the
Right.
water. But you're right, he has a little bit of an anger management problem, and that does get him into big trouble. Right, Moses knows that they're going someplace that he cannot go. And so he's trying so hard to be able to be there for him. What are modern equivalents that we do when people we love leave and go to a new town? Cell phones? Maybe. But how about giving a mezuzah or a little something to take into their new home to remind them of the past? Or, I don't know, did any of the parents from confirmation send your kids with a little note or a letter or send them a text so when they got off the plane in Israel, they knew you were thinking of them? Nothing? Were you already someplace else on vacation? Okay, we have two parents that love their children. What did you guys do just in case your kids might be homesick or to let them know that they're not by themselves there? Oh. Did you ever find it? Okay, so it's beautiful. I love that. So putting a letter in the duffel bag is kind of like what Moses is saying with the mountains. It's something tangible that they could reach out to. What is being asked of the Israelites in this passage? What is Moses asking them to do? Yeah, to behave. That's exactly, he's saying, please make good choices. I've taught you all these years. You know the difference between right and wrong. Please behave. Because if you don't behave, they're not going to call Moses. He's not going to get the call from the director of NIFTY. But what will happen? There'll be curses. Bad things will happen. It's basically, it's true in life. It's not that God will curse us, but when we make bad choices, bad things often happen to us. And when we make good choices, God willing, good things happen to us. So one of the things we know from the Torah in Judaism is that it's important to mark transitions, and it's important to acknowledge when somebody moves from one place to another. And so let's look at another passage to kind of understand a little bit more about what we should do or how we understand transitions.
Jacob left Beersheba and set out for Haran. Rashi comments, it was only necessary to record that Jacob set out for Haran. Why record his departure? Similarly, she left the place where she had been living, stated in regard to Naomi and Ruth. Again, why record their departure? This indicates that the departure of the righteous from a particular place makes an impression. As long as the tzaddik is in a city, the city enjoys a measure of glory, splendor, and brilliance. Should the tzaddik depart, so too the glory, splendor, and brilliance.
And so in Judaism, we have a tradition that when somebody goes to a new place, whether it's going off to Israel on a trip or to make aliyah, when somebody is going on a big journey, when they're starting college, when they're moving or making a new journey, we mark their leaving from this spot. That it's not just enough for them once they get there to put up the mezuzah, consecrate their house, and do that stuff, but we also acknowledge that they're leaving a place. Because when somebody leaves, is it just that person who's affected? No, we're all affected. As a community, we feel the loss when a member of our community leaves, and particularly the Jewish community is historically small. We haven't always lived in places like New York and LA in giant numbers. So when one of our community leaves, it's felt by the whole community. Let's look at one more teaching. Is this supposed to make noises? Oh, good, because it sounded like the battery. Who's not afraid to read? You think you could get this one? Okay, number 3. Okay.
Behold, I am sending a message before you to guard you on your way and bring you to the place that I have made ready.
So here we have a passage from earlier in the Torah, in Exodus, where Moses is repeating God's words to the Israelites, where God is saying this time, I'm sending a messenger before you to guard you on the way and to bring you to the place that I have made ready. Now let's look at that verse where in Exodus, this is what God says to the Israelites. But now let's look back up at Parshat Re'eh and see what Moses says. Do you see the part in bold? Moses says, for you shall pass over the Jordan to go into possess the land which the eternal your God gives you, and you shall possess it and dwell in it. What's the difference between how Moses presents their going and God predicts it in Exodus? What's the difference between Exodus and Deuteronomy? What was that?
God is being proactive in Exodus. He's saying, I'm sending you. Where? Right. In Deuteronomy, you shall pass over the Jordan. The people, it's more on the people than God.
It's on you. So I'm going to go back to that child metaphor. When you were in kindergarten, either you or when you took your kid to kindergarten on that first day, how do you get to that class? You rode your bike on the first day of kindergarten? Oh, with your father. I'm like, that is cold. That is so cold. God. When we're little, it's usually our parents who take us on that first step of the journey. They take us by hand, they lead us to the classroom, and they make sure we get to where we need to go. And that's kind of what God is describing here with the Israelites. But from Exodus to Deuteronomy, the Jewish people have changed. We've literally changed. The people that are being spoken to in Exodus is the generation that dies in the desert. It's the next generation that's born into freedom that doesn't need God to hold their hand and walk them into the desert that Moses is speaking to. And here Moses is saying, you're big enough. You could do this on your own. God's not going to hold your hand. I'm not going to hold your hand, but rather you will pass over and you will take the responsibility as you go forward. And in each of our lives, God willing, we make that transition from needing someone to guide us to taking the leap where we take responsibility. Now, I'm very sad because while there's a lot of things to celebrate on this Shabbat, there's one thing that I am not celebrating all that much, and that is we have two members of our community who will be moving very shortly. So I'd like to invite up Philip Resnick and Betty Thomas. Actually, I should say Captain Philip Resnick, who is a member of the U.S. Armed Forces, and he has just been stationed at the Pentagon in Washington, D.C. Had you been stationed anywhere else, I would not be so happy that you were leaving us. But it's an honor to be able to have you serve in such distinction. It's also an honor for the Jewish people to be able to have an officer in the U.S. military who, by the example you set, by simply being you, also being a representative of all of us. And so as Philip and Betty move to the East Coast, we will miss both of you terribly, but it's also our pleasure to bless you as you leave this place and go to a new one. So please rise. Mishaberach Avotenu Abraham Yitzhak v'Yaakov v'Imotenu Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah Yivarech Ephraim Michael ben Zalman Eliezer Uvracha Aviva. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless Captain Philip Michael Resnick as he embarks on his upcoming journey in his new post in our nation's capital.
May the Holy One bless him in his service to our country, guiding him with wisdom and insight, shielding him from all harm along the way. May he be an instrument of peace in our world, helping bring forth the day when nation shall not lift up sword against nation, nor shall we learn war anymore.
May the journey to your new home be a safe one. May your new community bring fulfillment and joy. And may all of your worthy endeavors find blessing. And let us say, Amen. And Mazel Tov. Please be seated. So proud of you. So Philip and Betty, when you're all retired, I'd like to recommend you move back to California. It's a wonderful place to retire. Hopefully sooner. So it really has been a joy having both of you as part of our congregation. It is my pleasure now to invite up the president of our congregation, Josh Masternardi, for some Shabbat greetings and announcements.
So if no one got in trouble on the trip, who is going to clean the windows? Anybody? Sounds good. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you to Rabbi Cantor and Michael for a wonderful service. Mazel Tov to Jillian on your bat mitzvah tomorrow, or I guess now, since it is tomorrow already. Tonight after services, we have an oneg hosted by the B'nai Mitzvah class in honor of Jillian's bat mitzvah. Tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. Torah study on Zoom. 10:30, Jillian's bat mitzvah at Shabbat morning services. Coming up in 2 weeks from today, Second Shabbos is undergoing a new multi-generational transformation. Check it out, all the details in the Hadashot. The biggest thing is a greet and eat BYO picnic between the family service and the regular evening service. So you're going to want to check that out and come hang out. And what we've all been waiting for, the High Holiday page is up on the website. All the service schedules, information on how tickets are going to work, how the childcare apples and honeys is good. Information is all up there. So check that out in the Hadashot. And last but not least, the adult Midday Mitzvah class is the registration's closing at the end of in a few days. There are only a few spots remaining. And now, Jillian, I'd like to invite you to introduce your family if you'd like. As Moses said, let my people stand.
Sorry, I have a lot of family. Okay, these are, what? Oh, okay. Stand. Family, please. Okay, these are, these are my parents, Dave and Melanie. Okay, these are my great aunt and uncle, Bob and Susan from Idaho. Okay, this is my uncle, Neil, and this is okay, this is my cousin, Ellie. That's my other cousin, Sam. And then my aunt is back there, Auntie Erica. Okay, this is my sister. No, she's just my sister. Aaliyah. Okay. This is my other uncle and my other cousin, Uncle Joel and Rowan. My grandma, Carol.
What? Okay. This is my Auntie Cindy and Nona, and then my other Grammy, and then down there, my cousins from New York. Wait. Sorry, guys, sorry. Susan and Ethel and Ira and Connie, and then, oh yeah, Jan. Wait. Oh. Okay, and then Jan. Jan's not here right now. And then these, Barbara and Richard. Kansas City. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, you are family. Okay, this is Grammy Marika. That's my cousin's grandma. But she's like a grandma to me. Okay, I think you guys could all sit now.
Welcome to all of you. And now, I'd like to ask any members of the Board of Trustees or committee chairs, past presidents, to stand and introduce yourselves.
Michael Herscher, Chair of the Lifelong Learning Committee.
Come say hi to any of us at the Oneg, and Shabbat Shalom.
Wait, we forgot one.
Oh, sorry. Shabbat Shalom.
Own your power, Samantha. Own it. It's my pleasure now to invite up all of our B'nai Mitzvah students to join us on the Bima once again, to lead us in the Aleinu, which can be found on the bottom half of page 586. Please rise.
Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula leotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoyei haratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu b'kahem, v'gor aleinu k'kol hamonam, v'anachnu koreim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu, shehu notei shamayim v'yosed haaretz, U'moshav yakaro b'shamayim ima'ah, u'shchinatu zo, v'kohei meromim, u'Eloheinu einod, emet malkeinu efesulato, kakatuv b'torato, v'yadata hayom v'hashevota, elevavecha, ki Adonai hu ha'Elohim, b'shamayim ima'al, ve'al ha'aretz, mitachat einod, ve'ne'emar, ve'haya Adonai, le'melech ha'kol ha'aretz, Bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad.
Please be seated.
Our thoughts now turn to loved ones who are no longer with us, and it is with great sadness that we recall the recent passing of Anita Brenner, the beloved sister of Mark Snyder, beloved sister-in-law of Lynn Snyder, and beloved aunt of Mahala and Matthew Archer, and beloved great-aunt of Jaylyn and Ari Archer. Also with great sadness, we recall the recent passing of Renee Magram, the beloved mother of Karen Mizzi, beloved mother-in-law of John Mizzi, and beloved grandmother of Sarah and David Mizzi. And sadly, we recall the recent passing of Neil Mayer, the beloved brother of Bonnie Penix. Zichronam livracha, may their memories forever be a blessing. We also recall loved ones who have passed away at this time in years past. We remember Eugene Baum, Sidney Blackman, Herman Budman, Teresa Canali, Sharon Cates, William Cohen, Lottie Cohen, Margie Cole, Ida Eisenbraun, Melvin Estroff, Marvin Fryfield, Vernon Fugit, Karen Geiger, Edward Goldberg, David Green, Julius Grun, Tilly Haber, Jeanette Hoffman, Jessica Jacobs, Sarah Lazarek, Leah Mikowski, Gertrude Maslowski, Adrian Minkin, Barbara Hesse-Riggins, Sam Robinson, George Rosen, Adele Sellinger, Hazel Scher, Estelle Sloan, Aranka Spaeth, Michael Stein, Robert Stevens Sr., Sandra Turman, Beverly Turner, and Gladys Wool-Wolf. If there are any names that anyone would like to add to the Kaddish list tonight, please feel free to call those names aloud as my gaze meets yours.
Sylvia Behrman.
I'd like to invite those who are saying Kaddish for a loved one to please rise. And if the congregation can please join me in these words of comfort. Hamakom yenachem etchem betok sha'ar of Leit Zion v'Yushalayim. May God comfort you among the mourners of Zion and Jerusalem. We rise to offer comfort to those who grieve as we continue together with the Mourner's Kaddish on page 598. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma tivrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei techol beit Yisrael, ba'gala v'izman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olmei almaya, Yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitba'ar, v'yitraman, v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, shmei tekudsha, barichu, le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Osei shalom b'marmav, Hu Yaseh Shalom, Aleinu ve'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru, Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us all say, Amen. Amen. Please be seated. Mr. Hersher, what lovely melody do you have for us to conclude the service with tonight? He always has a good one.
I got a good one. So, because we are celebrating the departure of Philip and Betty and all the people who went back to college or moved away, Cantor suggested that we do Tefillat HaDerech, which is a prayer for the road, and I said, nah, it's too easy. We're going to do this instead. On the road again. I just can't wait to get on the road again. The life I love is doing Jewish with my friends. I can't wait to get on the road again. On the road again. Going places that I'd never been. Seeing things that I may never see again. I can't wait to get on the road again. Like a big mishpicha, we go down the highway. We're all chaverim, insisting that the world keep turning our way. and our way is on the road again. I just can't wait to get on the road again. The life I love is doing Jewish with my friends, and I can't wait to get on the road again. Like a big mishpacha, we go down the highway. We're all chavarim, insisting that the world keep turning our way and our way. Okay, ready? On the road again. I just can't wait to get on the road again. The life I love is doing Jewish with my friends, and I'm happy to be back home again. And I'll be happy to get back home again.
I'm never going to be able to look at Willie Nelson the same way again.
You know, what you don't know is those are actually the original words.
Well, you know, if Willie took his hair out of his ponytails, you'd notice he does have
He
payas.
actually has payas.
He has payas.
Yeah, he tucks them back. I know.
He's almost as old as Moses now. So we conclude with the Kiddush and the Motzi. Afterwards, we hope everybody joins us for the wonderful oneg that awaits us in the courtyard. So come on up. If you want to look at the words as we do the Kiddush, the blessing can be found on page 123. That looks like white wine. What does that look like to you, Cantor?
I don't know. Could be. Are you ready? Yes. Okay. Yes, she's thirsty. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu b'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh bereshit ki hu yom tehila lemikra'e kodesh zecher letziyat mitzrayim kivanu v'charta Be'otanu kidasha mikol olamim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh Hashabbat. Amen. L'chaim u'shalom.
It's just grape juice. You're fine.
Uftuvo. I'm so ready. Ooh, oh, it's sad.
So for those of you who have not been with us since COVID started, this is the stunt challah, because we're touching it. This is not what you're going to be eating. Yeah, it's been frozen and unfrozen and frozen. But there's actually a delicious fresh challah that has not been touched by rabbinic hands, and that will be sliced. Not these rabbinic hands. And they'll be waiting for you, beautifully freshly sliced at the oneg.
Might be time for a new stunt.
Yeah, it's very sad.
It's very sad. It's like a giant.
I guess I'll put this down.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
B'te'avon.
Isn't that sad?